60-minute session for a client. So I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring a session with me, come visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. All right. So this client has a YouTube channel and Facebook page. I'm going to put information in the description if any of you are interested in checking it out. I'm going to go ahead and read the goals here and get started. Okay. I'm looking into changing everything, moving forward, looking forward, and don't want to miss anything from my history that I'm supposed to bring with me. Help me to shed memories of no more and embrace the new abilities and merge my spiritual team. There's some depth to this. There's some real depth to this. I feel like there's a solidifying of your identity, of your path. And to feel that solidity just simply taking place. It's like strengthening your internal mountain. And just feeling that in the depths of who you are. I feel this statement here is so intriguing. Moving forward, looking forward. And don't want to miss anything from my history that I'm supposed to bring with me. So to take the history, parts of history that are so vital to your path, right? But to bring them into the present, to carry them with you. So there's something interesting here about how you're expressing this. But to shed memories of no more and embrace the new abilities and merge my spiritual team. I mean, there's a solidifying energy to what you're wanting to achieve here. Looking into changing everything, but solidifying who you are. Okay. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing with others. And I've done other sessions for this client, so I'll put links in the description if you are interested in checking those out as well. Okay. I'm in an energy space, and the human side of me is expressing this feeling like, wow, this is a tall order. And asking for guidance on how to create this experience for you in this session. It's really wonderful because we're exploring the concept of the tall order. And to achieve the tall order, you have to simplify things and make it simple. So when you're focusing on what creates that effect of it being a tall order, they start talking about simple things like, here's some orange juice. How does it taste? Here, look at the beautiful swans. And so it's like, but we have all this work to do. Here, enjoy this. Hey, look at that. So it makes you wonder, what is the human's purpose? Is it the achievements, or is it the joys? Is it the whole picture of the experience? Is the story of the human being, you know? And the humans just trying to work through their story. And trying to find the strongest way, the most effective way of a triumphant story. It's as if within us all, there's this desire for our story to be the best story ever told. and that this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, and it's like good, 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 good. There's never any drama, never any problems. And my story was the best story because it was wonderful and it felt good the whole time, you know? But there's these unsuspecting events, these underlying moments that we could even carry with us for years as the undertone of some like grayer vibe as we're staying positive and trying to find a truth to our own spirit as we are wondering how to even get through this next big step. The best story ever told. Every human being's life story. I'm meant to begin like this. I'm meant to, there's something about authenticity and vulnerability. And so I'm meant to really feel my emotions related to what we're being introduced to right now. Are these my emotions? Are these your emotions? Perhaps they're emotions we could all relate to. And I feel the spirit of who you are really delights in feeling things. And when you stay positive, as in, okay, this is the scene they show me. If I could paint it, it would be more on point. But it's basically perfectly white and it has dimension. It's like a wall of a room that then kind of turns in, and then there's another wall over here, and then there's more wall, and then it's perfectly painted white. And then everything is still wet, and so there's a white paint effect to the scene. And then I see like teal and white colors, and they're boop, 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 like this, bouncing up and down as this little ball of joy. Emotions. My voice cannot do this justice. Just imagine a really adorable high-pitched voice saying emotions. Emotions. But you're like really bouncy about it. And you're like, emotions, like really happy, okay? And what's interesting is I can feel hard emotions. Like, boy, these emotions are difficult. Because if you get attached to the hard emotions, you'll remain in them, you know? And you'll wear them as your day-to-day garb, you know? And I'm still trying to make sense of what this means in relation to you like emotions, but you don't wear the garb of them. You're not wearing the, like, let's say you're having a gloomy day. You could really act as the way that you feel, you know? And you find this interweaving of how the human feels to be delightful. So it pops you out of going inside and wearing the emotions. I'm not convinced that anybody has perfectly mastered this, because we're challenged here. And as we're challenged, then that challenges our mastery. So then we fall, right? Only to get back up again and then conquer and master at another level, right? So there's going to be times where you're going to have to wear the garb, you know, and you're going to have to live in those muddy shoes of the emotions that humans feel when we're going through difficult times. Because this happy ball of energy is accepting of difficult emotions, is intrigued by them, and finds them to be very interesting. And we're talking about, why am I avoiding, right? Like this mysterious emotions, okay? We're also talking about mysterious emotions that we may not even be paying attention to. Why then am I judging myself? But these are still not juicy enough, okay? Like, we want really juicy emotions here, like devastation, agony, Okay? Sheer fear, like absolute terror in all of its delightful interweavings, okay? Debilitating shame, okay? That encourages or inspires one to feel even hate about the story of their life, okay, or people or situations or the why, okay. So now we're getting into this deeper pool of human feelings, okay, and this is what you're really I see you as a bottom feeder, and you're going to the depths of these emotions and you're feeding off of them in a way that is making you brighter, not gloomier, not like you are taking on, you are becoming, but you are consuming and then becoming brighter. So that is a divine truth. And I've seen this doing journeys, and I've been introduced to doing this myself, where you can consume other people's sicknesses. You can consume it inside yourself, and then transmute it in your own energy, and you become brighter. And so someone's pain that they're screaming into your face, you just simply take their pain away from them and you put it inside yourself and you digest it and you become brighter and help them become brighter. Now everybody in the whole universe wins. And that's how you do it. Have I mastered this? Am I always called to do this? No. I'm aware of it. I've successfully accomplished it in the energy world multitudes of times. It's not always what I'm called to do, and I don't always feel inspired to do it because there's so many ways to heal. So I always have to go as inspired. But as a human being, we have these moments too where we are challenged as to how to deal with the situation, where we want to yell, where we want to cry in our beds and get snot all over our sheets because we can't find the dang Kleenexes, you know. We fall into these modes too. And what I'm experiencing of your soul, what you need to know is how your soul deeply feels alive because of the gift of these emotions, these human emotions. It makes you feel alive inside. And so if you, it's not as if you really succumb, as in you become lost in. You could say, because I think even a human being who's mastered so much can go into deep places, because that's part of how we continue to learn and grow and then master it again at another level. So even the masters will fall through challenge that is at their level. So imagine really accomplished souls will also fall. You know, just look at the story of Jesus. Jesus as a master, right, struggled to cope with his reality, cope with his fate, cope with his divine truth or his path. Struggled emotionally, felt alone, felt cast out or ignored by his own father, God, right? So even the Master Jesus has fallen, okay? Only to rise again as an even more extraordinary master and teacher. And we all are in this. We're all in this process together. And you needed this message. And it's almost like as you wanted to hear this, to see yourself and to know yourself in this way, to be reminded. It's really to be reminded, right, of who you are and what delights your soul. It invigorates you on the inside, and it gives you a confidence or a self-awareness, or it builds something inside of you of an energetic empowerment. and you feel more true to who you are. But you are also very much a giver, and so for you to receive the self-awareness, you're also giving of the self-awareness to support others and discovering their own self-awareness. So you're very much so a giver as well. And you delight in that. You delight in that as well. You super delight in that. Next thing. Your guides are reminding me that we're working through the tall order, and look how easy it is. It wasn't that tall. But this is emotional, okay? And I'm just gonna go and be it because I feel like I'm really close and tiny and I'm getting smaller. And it's kind of bone breaking, and I'm like cracking bones, and there's some flexibility, and I'm getting like rolled into a tiny little ball, and I'm getting smaller and smaller, and there's still bones breaking. And it's crack, 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 crack. Ouch. Big time ouch. Hold on. Next. There's a very dark and scary black tree, and it's very wide, like the impossible wall. And it's very scraggly, witchy looking Halloween type tree, and it has a big scary face on it. And it's got the "you shall not pass." Instead of it's Gandalf, it's like the terror of the dark, you know? The dark is saying you shall not pass. And it's hard. It's like not an easy one to deal with. This is not easy, okay? Remember, your soul delights in the emotions. And you transmute them from within and then become brighter, okay? And it's okay to fall into the emotions because Jesus did. All the masters that come here also do. Masters also do. Because that's how they become an even more expanded, more profound master. So that is the nature of life. Okay? I'm having like a conversation with myself here. It's like I'm supposed to say, no. Mirror appears, and I see myself, and I hear the echo from inside the mirror say, no. And I say, no. And the echo says, no. And I say no to myself, as in, no, you shall not pass. And then the echo says, no, you will not pass. And then it's like this weird conversation of fighting with oneself, okay? And the tree just laughs and laughs. It's like it has really long arms that are always going to make sure that you never get to the other side. And the tree is impossibly thick, impossibly wide, and has impossibly like gnarled branches in every direction. So it makes it very complicated problem, okay? But there are no such things as problems for you, right? It's important we go back to this charade here with the mirror. I see a silvery energy, silvery light. Okay. Both you and your reflection are distracted from each other as a silvery light comes in between you. And I feel on both sides disgruntled. I don't want this silver light. And then I feel tears, and then I feel fear. Because the silvery light is getting in between you and your reflection in order for this to stop. And you as these selves don't want this to stop. Because you're right, no, I'm right, no, I'm right, no, I'm right, no, 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 forever, okay? And now the silver light comes in between, and it's like you're screwing up our mojo here. We're trying to beat each other up by telling each other no in our own ways. I'm having an argument with myself in the mirror. Myself always pretty much says the same thing back at me as I say the exact same thing back. How dare you get in the way of our arguments? This is one of those emotions you delight in because it's forcing you to learn how to let go of an attachment to an emotion. And that too takes emotion. That is emotional process to let go of an attachment to an emotion and emotional behavior. Is once you develop the behavior, it's hard to stop. And if it's a self-punishing cycle in a way, and it becomes an adjustment, it starts to feel appropriate, it starts to feel good in a weird way. Like it feels good to put yourself down. It almost feels like love in some weird way. And when this gets in the way of that weird love, and this is true love, it's a conflict. That conflict is helping to bring you back into balance. And it is a blessing. It's a blessing that this has happened. That is getting in the way of you and this imbalance inside yourself. This is not all that you are, okay? This is just a little side spot. Like, if our inner universe is like this crazy rat maze, we're gonna go into these little side sections. We're gonna find weird relationships like this going on, okay? And then we just heal as many of these as we can find, you know? It's really fun. But to shift these energies feels uncomfortable. It feels like the flu, okay? Because we get adjusted to that. We get adjusted to that, and that feels right. It feels appropriate. It feels good. Only for it to be self-realized that it is not the right way forward anymore. Change is appropriate here. The blessing is coming in to separate this connection in order to mend and heal it, in order for you to be more true to yourself, which is self-loving. In every way, shape, and form, self-loving. Just a minute. Hold on. There's weird spinal growth happening. It's getting to be more. It's like a weird beanstalk growing through my spine up into the clouds. And it's like going down into the earth, and I'm on the beanstalk. I'm just like stuck on a beanstalk, and it's my very spine. And I'm not necessarily angry about it. It's fine. In a weird way, I kind of appreciate it, because it has swept me off my feet. It's actually risen me up off of the ground, and it's giving me a new viewpoint. And I can't see what is this. I can't see it because I can't turn myself to take a look. I can tell. I can sense. I can kind of experience it way up there, way down there, but I can't get the full view. I'll never get the full view. There's going to be things in your life that are going to pick you up, and you'll never, ever, 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 ever in this life get the full view. That's okay. Can you work with that reality? If you just want to know why, or you just want to know what it all means, or you just want to understand the bigger picture of what was the point or whatever. Because when life situations knock us off our feet or lift us up off the ground, our mind goes, give me some feedback here. And we just work through it as best we know how. But when you stay true to yourself, you can do this. It's that easy. But you have to accept that you won't see every detail, and the mind and the emotions, there's something about being human, wants to know everything. I need to know all the whys about this weird situation. So I'm called to remind you that you're never going to know all the answers to why, okay? And embrace that emotion, embrace that feeling. Get ooey gooey and in love with knowing that you won't know all the whys about the things that have happened in your life. And embrace and appreciate and be grateful for that. And what you will learn or what you will know about is all you need to know. Okay? It's kind of like being a kid. It's like, but tell me, just tell me, just tell me. No, 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 just tell me. No. As human beings, adults even, it's like, God, just tell me why. No, I won't. Why? No, you won't know in this life. Well, that's an emotion too. Wanting and not receiving an answer. Also frustrating. Delight in the dance of the emotions, okay? Even those feelings. So the question is, what do you do when you want to feel better, or you want to heal from, or you want to have the answer to why or whatever? That kind of it locks us into the memories, keeps us working through the memories. When do you know that it's safe to love the event and to love everything that happened, love yourself, and not need to know anything more about it, but cherish what you have learned and how you have grown from it? When do you give yourself permission to do that? That is when you have all that you need from your history in your present, and you become a solid mountain on the inside. And you have to find that statement, okay? You have to find that happy ball of energy that loves emotions and loves these predicaments, and be your true self. Your true self is grateful for the pain and the suffering and the challenge, because there's so many emotions involved that are going to take the master out of the mastery, only for you to say, but I am a master, and I'm going to master this, and I just can. I don't have to prove it to anybody, because I just am, and I just can, and it makes me happy to do it. It makes me myself to do it. Makes me myself to do it. And it's not like I'm trying to be happy in the midst of the pain. I am happy in the midst of the pain. You see? I am happy in the midst of the pain. Then there really isn't any pain. And anytime there's an emotional relationship with a memory that creates a feeling of loss or anger or whatever it might be, that's an opportunity for you to do what you do best. You know, I had a event in my life where I was really looking at a bigger picture of time, okay? And I have these lessons related to, I really like being a good person. I've always been that way. I wanted to do all the good stuff so I could get all the gold stars and make everybody happy, because then I won, like, more happiness and love and appreciation of who I am. And I was always good, and that made me feel so good. And I believed that goodness creates goodness. And I'd seen that goodness creates goodness because I got the gold star, because I got the smiles, because I got the appreciation that I was good. And so as I've grown older, being good doesn't necessarily create warm and fuzzy, long life stories. And you can be good and good and good and good, and it doesn't always build what you anticipated that goodness would build. And when you learn that you can just, it's like, the powerful thing I learned was that I like being good. And if I don't get anything in return, I still like being good, and that's what I'm going to be. And I don't, that helped me to disconnect from feeling like I should have been more clever, or I should have done this or that. Maybe being good isn't everything. Maybe I need to be more practical, or maybe I need to be more, be more. But what if being me is just simply being good? And I like that. And if I don't get any outcome that I think goodness should get, it doesn't matter, because I am true to who I am as a good person. I really explore my path and what the meaning as a human being and the feeling of as a human being, what it feels like to be good. And sometimes to be good makes absolutely no sense. In some situations, you have to say things that are the right thing to say, and it's not going to make you necessarily feel good. That's conflicting to my goodness. Because I don't want to hurt anybody. Because good people don't hurt people. But the truth flippin' hurts sometimes. Even when I want the truth, it hurts me. It's like, but I can handle the truth. I am open-minded. But then now I start to doubt and question myself. So these are the exchanges of a human life, But when we start to know who we are, and we can do the best that we can as this me, right? I do the best I can as myself. And what I like and what I believe in makes me feel good about myself. As like, it's like aligning with like little pockets of your identity that you really value. I just am this way, okay? Then be that way, and don't worry about all the different ways that the way you are is moving and shifting and creating situations. All you can ever be is who you are. No matter what happens out there, all you can ever be is who you are. So when things don't work out the way that they should, right? Because good people should live in a good world. Because they're dedicated to creating that good world, dang it, and when that doesn't happen, and we're grateful, right? I'm grateful to know that I like being a good person, and I'm grateful for these challenges and these frictions, because it's challenged me and then helped me to become truly solid in knowing who I am and what makes me who I am. And also knowing that I don't need anything in return for being good. And maybe I needed this weird lineup of experiences to get dragged through the mud, and only to just solidify this basic idea. Why do we have so much like homework, life junk, in order to get to the point where we just have these epiphanies about the most basic stuff? I can just be good, and I can love me for being good, and I don't need anything in return. I didn't even realize that I had these complexes about it, I meant to tell you this, okay? Because maybe something simple like this is like rising up to the surface, and it's like the weird mini epiphany that makes all the biggest difference for you to feel at peace with everything in your life and all the choices that you've made and all the people that you've met. This is another thing that I meant to say as well, because it really stuck with me. This was a channeling I did with Ra and the sun and the sunflower and the fire element on Patreon. I shared it here on YouTube. When I went to visit the sun, it was really loud that I just thought that I could go back to the sun at any time. But what I was introduced to is that people will come and go. and that sometimes what we want to go back to, we'll never be able to, and that we need to make the most of the moments that we do have while we have them. And it's okay when we move through the revolving door of change and people come in and out of our lives that we may want to see again and never see again. And if we do see them again, they won't even be the same person we remember. And so we have to just appreciate every moment as it is, and appreciate the time that we have with each other in those moments, because that is the divine time that we are given with each other in those moments, as we are or as we were at that time. And we become much different people as we move through life, as life can break us down and we get lost in the breakdown, and then we conquer it and we become truly like I don't know, genuine lights in the world that maybe we were broken down before when we met those people, and now we're this like super healed, awesome new person that they're like, who are you? Wow, you really come a long way from when I met you. Or, wow, what happened to you? My God, you were this, and now you're like really in the gutter. Because we all go through life cycles. And we got to appreciate just that moment in time that we have with the people that matter, or that we would like not in our lives. We need to embrace. We need to embrace all of the moments and all the people. And we need to be grateful for all the people who are choosing to be exactly as they are in those moments, no matter how it makes us feel. Because that is genuine gratitude for life itself. Genuine gratitude for the story. The story of your life, the story of my life, the story of the human life here on earth right now that we're living. We're living in this big, awesome story. And we have to have gratitude for that story and the way it is written. If it is written. We do know that it will never be forgotten in the computer mind of the infinite universe of God, etc. Like, everything is always remembered. It will always go down in history. Every cycle of eternity is known forever. I'm supposed to say that too. I feel like we're working through this epiphany stage. We're working through this like self-reflection and awareness of self and true self. Feeling a wholeness and a strength, an internal strength with that, right? And we're working through this development here, which is the nourishment that you're looking for right now. I feel like we're going to shift into something. Hold on. Kind of in between two worlds. And I'm still working through the epiphanies, but I see the next world coming that we're going to be moving into. And I'm not just quite there yet, but I see the orb of it, and I see the orb of this, and I'm moving through a membrane from one world into another world. And I see that this is true. Your future, there's this golden teardrop, and it heals everything in your heart. It heals everything in your life. It heals everything in your soul. And you're reborn. And I don't know if that is, let's say you live to be 300 years old in this life. We don't know. Like, we can't decide what is going to be a normal life, because we don't know all the technological advances that could happen in the next 10 or 20 years, you know? Maybe nothing happens, but maybe everything happens. And now the human race can be 1,000 years old. And we are living hundreds of years now. But I see somewhere in your life, in this life, there's this immaculate, perfect, golden, ambery, delicious tasting. I get to taste it. It's very tasty teardrop. And when it hits your heart, it's like, boo. And it's like, wow, wow, wow. Oh, and it feels like you could just fall to your knees and cry in this like immaculate joy and gratitude of your life, and how that when life got tough, it's like when the tough get going, what's that song? When the going get tough, the tough get going. That's right. But it's better than this because it's immaculate joy. So when life got tough, you got through it, and then you received the blessing of immaculate joy, and then just true love of self, and true love of life, and true love of emotion, and true love of the hardship, and you become yourself as this happy bouncy ball that loves this human emotional place, that challenges the master, and then the master remembers the master's own self. So that's I had to tell you that. That's so good, that teardrop. I see this as like an inevitable event, and it's a good event, and it's tasty. What's it taste like? It tastes like the nectar of the gods. That's the only way you can describe it. It literally is a nectar of some kind. That's what it's energetically defined as, a nectar, a heavenly nectar. And it also reminds me of maybe what it would be like to be a butterfly and drink the syrup of the flower, Like there's something, the nectar of the gods about it. And it is a pure and pristine energy that when it hits your heart, it all comes into this divine awareness and bliss for you. And you love yourself more than you could ever know or imagine. And it kind of helps you shift gears from what is the human into what is yourself, and then working with yourself as this profound immaculate mastery energy through then the human. So you're still working through the human, but you're discovering the master, and now the master works through the human, not like attached to the human stuff, but mastering it, and now the master works through the human. So I'm supposed to pause here for a moment, like mega pause, almost like intermissionary pause, like everything I've shared, there needs to be some digestion and processing time. Then I'll come back and then see where we're at with what the next part of the message is. The neat thing is the tall order feeling is like no big deal at all. Like there is no tall order. Why did I ever think there was, Again, another human emotionary moment. Okay, I'm going to take an intermission and then I'll be back. All right, I'm back from my intermission. Let's see what your energy field is looking like now. You are ready to move forward. You are ready to get started in something. And it seems as though we needed this kind of event of processing, this discussion, to build you up or get you up to speed, get you prepared for what you are ready for next, which is something new, something. Still listening. I don't feel like you're so inside of that world, that bubble, that processing, but you haven't shifted yet to this next world of new life experiences. So you're kind of moving through a membrane still, a process of from one experience to this next experience, and you're almost through it, okay? You're almost through it. But that all depends on you. That depends on how you are able to come into a wholeness with who you are, no matter what happens in your life, no matter how that challenges the human, is what you love most. The challenge, to be grateful when it is hard to be, right? And the challenge to be delighted, to be happy, to be free, to be at peace with, to find joy in life. No matter what life is sharing with you, that could be challenging, to find the beautiful meaning in that. And it is yourself. Okay? Okay. Again, I'm hitting this sort of energy like this is still needing time to process. This is still needing time to process. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave everything that we've seen and explored together, and then I'm going to go to a totally different interaction, totally different vibes, totally different communication, okay? So, I'm just going to let all this stuff go, and then we are going to learn some new things. Oh. Okay. I am stuck in the floor and my head is looking up and it's like the second floor and my legs are dangling in what would be like the first floor. And my shoulders, my neck and head are kind of stuffed in here and I see around this room and there's like a black and white checkered floor. It makes me think of like an 80s diner. Um, Kind of makes me think of Happy Days or the Fonz. There's something like a meeting place for teenagers and being cool. There's also like sock hop. There's something about the poodle skirts and the little shoes with the little socks. I don't know, like something about dancing as well. Trying to get into here, trying to fit through the floor and get into here, trying to get into here, trying to get into here. Come on, trying. And I say to this you, I say, remember about the tall order? And when we try really hard, sometimes we just need a glass of orange juice and then bam, it's done. This reminds me of the beanstalk on my spine. Not necessarily getting taller or being lifted off the ground this time. It's more like I'm contorted and I just can't control my body right now. I just don't have the means to be in control yet of my body and my motions. And I don't want to be so stiff. I want to be fluid like water in motion. I want to be like that. So, how do I be like that? I feel like I have to try to become that. Ask your guide, so is there practice? Is there a trying involved? Is there another way? Okay, so they're talking about relaxation. They're telling me it's a funny message. So you could hear people say, I can't dance. Now give me a couple drinks and I can dance. It helps me to loosen up. I can't dance unless I've had a couple of drinks. Okay, so people will say things like this. Is that true? Do they need some alcohol in order to get loose and dance? Or do they need to practice getting loose and dancing without alcohol because now they are true to themselves? How do people learn how to loosen up and dance without alcohol? How do people do it? That's what they're sharing with me, this idea. They take me to a club and I hear a bunch of college kids at different tables talking about, no, I'm not gonna dance. I don't dance. And then a few drinks in, they're out there getting nuts on the dance floor. So they're kind of showing me this idea that can't dance until I've had a few drinks. Now look at me go. You know, it's just, is that true? How do you get someone to loosen up who feels stiff? They need some stiff drinks then to loosen up. Now they can dance. Is that true? And how do you get someone who is stiff to dance? How do you do it? How come the alcohol helps them to do it? so easily, but they can't do it without the alcohol. How does the alcohol help them to feel loose? How come they can't just feel loose? Why do they need the alcohol to feel loose? To be able to dance? What is in the way? How do you dance without alcohol? So if you feel stiff, whether that is stiff in movement, stiff in doing light language, stiff in self-expression, stiff in anything, you know? How do you loosen up the skill? Let's say you played tennis for years. Now you had kids, now 20 years later, and you're picking up a racket and it feels good, but you are older now, you haven't played in a while, you're stiff. Do you need a couple drinks to get out there to play tennis again? Or do you just need to get out there and do it and learn how to loosen up without anything but the desire to do it, right? And they show me the ability to go within and to do it at your own pace, not your ideas' own pace. And they show me that people that need a few drinks to get on the dance floor is their idea of what good dancing looks like, and they can't step into their idea. And if they drink, then it doesn't matter. They can just dance however they want. Were they ever able to get into their idea, or were they just giving themselves the freedom to do what they weren't able to do? And the alcohol gave them that freedom, when they could just give themselves that freedom in the first place. And the more they give themselves that freedom, the less they'll need the alcohol to accomplish it. The more you go out and practice tennis, the better you get at it. Let's say you used to run a lot and now I swear to God, you have kids and everything changes, right? And now you want to get back into running and get back into shape, etc. What do you think you're going to be like? Do you need some alcoholic beverages to get out there to go run? No, you just go out there and try the best you can. And maybe you're 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds blubberier. And it's like flapping body parts as I'm running along. Man, my butt jiggles, my arms jiggle. Oh, please don't watch me as you're in public places trying to run again. So what, you know? You do what you want to do because you want it for yourself. And if you're stiff about it, then practice and go at your own pace. No judgment here, right? No judgment. And they show me that when you allow yourself to step into the things that you want to do freely, you will find yourself stepping into yourself, and it's going to be very familiar, and it's going to speed up a process for you of feeling more in tune with who you are. And that also helps to shift from one world of an experience into the next one, because where you are at right now and everything that you are bringing into the balance inside yourself while adding in the practice, right, is helping you to, again, become more of your authentic self as you kind of fine-tune who you are. And then now you're entering into that moving forward, and what is beyond this point is we are moving forward into. And you're ready for that because you already are moving forward. And you are already that. You are already that. And they remind us all that in life we're always going to be building a skill. And to think about the emotions that get in the way of us even starting, us even doing it. I don't want to be stupid. I don't want to sound stupid. Like, people who want to develop psychic ability, it happens all the time. People will practice or try for a very short period of time and then stop because they don't know how to continue to follow through with it, because their mind or their interpretation of of this process gets in the way, and they don't want to sound stupid, or they don't want to be wrong, or they whatever. What is that that's getting in the way? An illusion. If you want to be psychic, you just practice and you keep trying the best that you can. And you keep working and developing the skill until you discover your confidence. But you don't give up. You want to be a dancer, you dance. You want to be a tennis player, you play tennis. You want to be a runner, you run. You want to have a super fit body, then do what you need to do that, right? And don't hold yourself back, because who are you holding yourself back for? What, your idea of good? You don't want to embarrass yourself because you're not going to be able to step into your idea of good. So you might as well not even go there. Don't even try. You're just going to embarrass yourself? No. There's nobody's embarrassed. Like, there's no embarrassment here. You do it because you want to do it. And you don't need any support to do what you want to do, because you want to do it, you do it, right? I will say this message is your heart is like, pooh, like it's getting brighter, like this, you're really clicking with this, and it makes so much sense. And it's giving you an edge of motivation, okay? And freedom to do what you want to do. Which again is how you get into the next world of experiences, is you allow yourself to do what you want to do as you're able to do it right now, and go at your pace, not your mind's idea of what pace it should be, that you can't reach yet. Just go at the pace you're at right now. You have to always just go with where you're at right now. Yeah, this is so great. Okay, what else? I love how this is impacting your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is like so warm and wonderful to feel. Oh, it's so bright and it's so warm. It's so sweet. Oh. It's this next thing. All right, they want me to move on from everything we've seen, like stuck in the floor trying to get up there. Oh, I can't dance, all that conversation. We're just going to set that over there, let it process and do its thing some more, and then we're going to go look at the next thing, okay? What is this? I don't know what to make of it. Basically, it's a banana split. I see a banana that's cut in half, and there's a side there. It's like a dish that makes the sundae, the banana split sundae. And there's a focus on the bananas more than the ice cream. There's also I'm surrounded by a very beautiful, it's all made out of glass. And it's like a sun porch, and it's enormous sun porch. I mean, I could imagine you could grow like your own biome in here. Like jungle plants everywhere, and release some tropical birds, you know? But there's nothing here. It's just the sun's coming in, and it's just like a plain space, and there's a chair, and then I experience this Sunday, okay? Something about scene is changing, and now there's a pool instead of just a flat ground. And there's a conversation about how do you make a decision? How do you decide? It seemed to me like this, when I was experiencing this Sunday, I was like, what does this represent? Now I'm experiencing this glass place, like, oh, wow, I could grow a garden in here. Oh, there's nothing growing at all in here. It's just a flat ground. Oh, but now there could be a pool in here. And it's all just kind of wishy-washy, like bouncing around ideas, and nothing really sticks. And nothing really manifests. The only thing we actually are holding on to is the Sunday, is the only thing that we feel confident about. And the glass. That is also a confident thing. It's a confident detail. But what are we going to do with this space? Do we even want this space? Do we even want this Sunday? Is this what we want, the glass here? Or do we want to change things? So it's kind of like this feeling of, what is this? Oh, where am I? Oh, I could do this. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, now there's a pool here? Oh, do I want this Sunday? So it's you see how we're kind of like in a circulation of nothing's really sticking, nothing's really solid, and it's kind of like a decision-making state. It's trying to kind of build an idea, but it doesn't really know how to build it because we can't really decide on the specific details of how we want it to look. Do we want this enclosure to just be a place where we eat ice cream sundaes, or do we want this to actually become a biome of some kind, or do we want this to be like a cool place that houses a pool? And what do we want? So they're asking you to, what are all of the ideas that are coming to you? What are all the many ideas, our building blocks? And you could do this idea, or you could do this idea. So how do you get solid with making decisions about what you want it to be, what you want out of your life, what you want to do? How do you make a decision? How do you feel solid with that decision? So the decision is in place now. I mean, it's a legit decision in place now. You say you're going to stick with the ice cream, the banana split, and you're going to sit on this chair and you're just going to let there be nothing. It's almost like I'm going to start working with simplicity first. It's almost like I'm going to have to slow down and work with simplicity, because if I can't make a decision, then that means I don't know yet what I want. And if I don't know what I want, that means I haven't developed enough or haven't gathered enough information. And so I'm just going to be in this place of simplicity and eat my ice cream. It's important for you to think about the meaning of this message, because you're going to hit points where you're ready to move forward, right? Where you just don't know what to do yet. And if you don't know what to do yet, then you don't have all the information, or you're not caught up with yourself or with the idea. So you just be patient and then just embrace simplicity and let things take whatever time they need, okay? What's funny is now that you've eaten your ice cream and you've taken some time, I see you actually leaving this glass structure and saying, I never really did. I thought this was it, but it wasn't. And when you walk out and you walk away from and leave that behind, you're really proud of yourself for thinking you wanted it like this, but realizing that it wasn't quite right. So you can move on from an idea that sounded really good. You can move on from it and embrace whatever comes next. So they're kind of showing me now another concept here that, I mean, it literally seems like you're ready to build the foundation of what you're going to do next. And now you're just working with the materials and the ideas, so you can't really build a foundation until you know what the foundation will be built with, or what ideas you're going to be working with, and then you strengthen those ideas and you build upon them, right, over time, which becomes your life. You know what I mean? So you're entering in a new world of experiences, and that's going to work with a new foundation. What's interesting, I feel like we could say that the foundation is built upon you knowing who you are and what you represent. Like me knowing that I like being a good person, and I'm just going to keep being what I feel that I like to represent. And if that creates friction or problems, or people don't understand me or whatever, I'm still going to know who I am. And so that builds a foundation, right? And you can be solid in who you are, and it makes you stronger in how you work through life situations and people situations and all of that. Because then you just are strong in who you are. So you could say you're building a foundation of becoming strong in who you are, and knowing who you are, and becoming that happy little ball that enjoys this human experience and the challenges that come with it, and mastering the emotions and finding this gift of love in everything. It makes you strong and builds a strong foundation, so you don't have to learn those lessons anymore, because you learned them and figured them out and then grew beyond them. You know what I mean? And now what comes next? You got the hard part out of the way, it seems like. Now the next part is going to be a lot easier and maybe even fun, like redecorating a house. What colors? I don't know. I'm thinking this right now. Months goes by. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't go in that direction, because I'm really digging this right now. Then you go with that and you're very comfortable for 2 years, and it's like, oh, I need a change. That's life for you. You know what I mean? That's life in a nutshell right there. Okay, so you're walking away from the glass structure and you're ready to put that idea behind you. It's not quite the right fit, but you still can't make up your mind. But you're in just like a grassy open area, and you're just going to stay in this grassy open area for right now. And so this is the next place for you to discover whatever comes next for you. And you lay down and you look up at the sky, and the sun is behind some clouds. So there's some clouds that are really bright, white, like you can see that there's light behind them, and then some aren't so bright, and then it's a really blue, vast blue sky, and it's very nice. And you say that the glass was more confining than you thought. It seemed like a nice, safe, pretty structure that you could enjoy being inside of, and maybe grow things or put a pool here. But once you go outside and just experience the whole world above you, right? It makes you feel so vast. It makes you feel so much bigger and so much wider. It makes you feel so much freer. And you like that feeling a lot. So now you're discovering that decisions are based on how things make you feel. And so the vast sky, you really like that vibe more than the enclosure, even if it's pretty. You want an experience that is more open. So it's interesting that you're making decisions on a deeper reality than a superficial one. It's not just about the basics. It's about the depth of how these decisions make you feel deep down inside, and how they make you feel more true to yourself, okay? I am asking just a quick question about sometimes when you have to take a risk and you just don't know, you just don't know what you're working with or what to do. So you have to make a decision, and then it's going to feel like you're taking a risk in order to create a movement. And what are your thoughts on this? Maybe this applies to you, maybe it doesn't, but let's see what they say. As of right now, it's not about risk taking. It's about you tuning into who you are, and you enjoying who you are, and you discovering who you are through more experiences. And it doesn't feel like risk taking to me. It feels like maybe even slowing down to enjoy more of what life has to offer, and to feel alive and bright inside of yourself. Almost like just let things, let the next ideas come to you, and then you can decide if you like them or they're working for you or not. And then let time pass and new ideas will come. And so just kind of let the universe flow into your life and flow through you. That's the other side of this, okay? Interesting. All right, that's what I have to share. Thank you so much for this. What a very down to earth message. So much good advice in here. It really gets you rehabilitated with how to live a happy and solid life, and how to embrace who you are, and how to love the moments when we just are patient and let life happen, even if we don't know anything. That's perfectly fine. And how to be aware of where the resistance is, and to remember that you're free to live your life the way you want to live it. And slow down. If you want it to be kind of like this and you're not there yet, then slow down and start working your way towards that vision by just working on yourself or practicing. And then let the universe flow to you, new ideas, for you to continue to build the foundation. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so, so much. And everybody watching, thank you so much as well for watching from beginning to end. And thank you for all your kind comments and support of my clients. I hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day.